All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining the podcast is a former MLB All-Star with over 500 career strikeouts, a man that all you Braves fans know very well, remember very well. If you watch baseball in the late 2000s, you know this guy was an absolute beast on the mound.
Appreciate
Electric,
it.
electric stuff, icy composure, one of the smoothest deliveries you'll ever see. It's Mr. Jair Jurrjens. JJ, what's going on, my man? How we doing?
How you doing, my man? How's everything? I appreciate it to have me on your show, and let's do it. Let's have fun.
So last night, I was watching
Hmm.
Back to the Future,
Yeah.
where they go back to the 50s and he runs into his parents. They're teenagers. I don't have a DeLorean for us, but
Hmm.
let's go back to 2008. That was a big breakout year for you.
Hmm.
You finished third in the NL Rookie of the Year voting behind Giovanni Soto and Joey Votto. You were the number
Hmm.
three Braves prospect that year, and oddly enough, I remember being a young kid and hearing about you coming up, and you were about to play Andrew Jones and the Dodgers, and you said, you know what? I think I'm going to strike him out. And you struck him out three times. What was clicking for you that year, man?
Um, I was just having fun, man. I always believe in myself. That's number one. And like I said, I had a chance to play for the team I grew up watching, a team that my dad was the biggest fan of in Curaçao, and when that trade happened, it was sad and happy at the same time. And, you know, I just didn't, that I remember having this conversation with a friend of mine when I was gonna get my second big league start. And he asked me if I'm gonna start again. I say, if they give me another start, I'm never gonna go to the minor leagues. And since that day, I have that mentality. I never wanted to go back. And every time I had a chance to step in a big league stadium, I still had the chills, like I live in my dream. And that year, I was having fun, and trying to show everybody what I can do.
Well, you came up, during that era with some pretty serious bats in the NL. You got guys
Hmm.
like Albert Pujols and Joey Votto and Ryan Braun. Who was the number one guy that you faced that, you were like, man, this guy is, I'm going to have to really be on my A game here?
Oh, like you say, you mentioned a lot of big names, some future Hall of Famers, some guys that maybe gonna be Hall of Famers. Like Henry Ramirez was one of the guys. He had my number for sure. I think he has like 4 or 5 home runs off me. As back in the days, a lot of leadoff guys was like slap hitters, but Henley was a power guy like everybody's using these days. And I throw a lot of strikes, and he tried to get on my first pitch all the time. And because I always over the plate a lot, he got me a couple of times for sure. Henry Ramirez definitely gotta tell he has good numbers against me.
What's something about, being a pitcher in the big leagues that a lot of people, a lot of fans, maybe the mainstream media doesn't really cover that you
Mm,
think needs to be talked about more?
I think the work that goes in it. I think people know about it, but they really don't know the inside out of the mental preparation you do. How hard you need to work on recovering in those 4 days. And more after a bad start. I think that's the hardest thing because usually hitters, when they go 0 for 4, they have a chance to go in the game next day and try to, make their week look good. But for a starting pitcher, you pitch once a week. And if you had a bad outing, that week's gonna be long. And walking in that clubhouse and feeling that you let your team down is really hard to sometimes to swallow. Then the mental game is a part. I think a lot of people don't really cover. They only cover about the physical, how they run, the cardio, the lifting, and recovering. But the mental part is really hard. Part is the most important, I think, in my mind.
Well, you know better than anybody.
Mm,
Just the superstitions and the analytics
mm,
and everything of baseball. I was a clubby for the Birmingham Barons in Southern League there, and
mhm,
it was interesting to see and talking to some of these pitchers.
mm,
And I don't want to get ahead of myself with my questions, but
mm,
a lot of emphasis on getting ahead of in the zone, first
mhm.
pitch strikes, all this kind of stuff. And a lot of these pitchers, before they even go out there, they're already in their head and kind of
Correct.
messes them up.
Correct.
Did you
Correct.
ever kind of see somebody like that, or what did you deal with that?
Everybody's different. Everybody's different. Some people like to analyze stuff. My thing was I like to do my routine, right? I do my routine before the game and warm up and stuff like that. But when I get in the game, I go on feel and what the hair is trying to show me. I think these days, guys go in the game with one game plan, and even the game plan is not working, they stick on it. And I think my part was if something's not working that day, I was able to change it up and then come back to what makes me a great pitcher.
And you were fortunate enough to be back there with Brian McCann too. I'm sure that helped a lot.
Ah, man, I came up like lucky. I had really great catchers. I had Pudge as my first win in the big leagues, but having Brian and David Ross, Corky Miller, like guys actually like care about calling a good game and getting got a connection with the starting pitcher, all the pitcher, whole staff, and I think it made it easy for all the pitchers on the staff to get along with these guys because they learn what makes you go and makes you better, makes you a great pitcher, and they pitch to your strength. And it's easier when somebody knows your strength and know how to guide you during the game.
If you were pitching, one day and Brian was catching for you that day before the game, what was kind of the process? Would you guys sit down and kind of talk or what?
Yeah, we watch video. We go over the lineup. First game of the series, you go over the scouting report already, and we sit for a little bit. But again, when we cross that line, we got to go with what's working. And everybody knows, like I was a fastball changer mainly guy, but if the fastball, the changer wasn't working, we needed to throw more on my breaking ball stuff. Then, yeah, that's the thing that the relationship me, Brian, and David had. Like when something wasn't working, because I had a great command, then we can push it a little bit more with other pitch till I get the feel where the pitch is not working that day.
You dealt with and I'm sure Bobby Cox probably was like, "Man, y'all just have at it. You yeah,
Yeah,
y'all know what y'all doing."
hey man, it's like I say, David and Brian was like good at getting knowing all the pitchers. Was the strength, was the pitcher you want to go with in a top position, and it makes it easy when a catcher knows you. You know what I mean? It's your trust, and when the catcher can put the finger down that you like to throw, the game just flow.
What was it like playing for Bobby Cox? Speaking of, I know he was a fiery guy, maybe
Uh,
not Billy Martin levels, but what was that like?
it's fun, man. A legend, a dad, a mentor. Like he lets you do you, let you grow up. But when you need to step in and teach you the way you need to do the business, he is not afraid to let you know. And it's amazing. It's amazing to play for a guy that always have your back. Even like as a pitcher, the pitch is the ball, and he goes after the empire. It pumps you up that you want to put the work in for him. You know what I mean? And that's why a lot of guys like when they say they play for the one of the best is because he always has your back. And as a player and knowing how hard it is to play baseball, even any position you play, and having your manager backing you up, even you're struggling, not struggling, even it's your fault or not your fault, it makes you feel confident to go out there and do your job.
Absolutely, definitely a legend for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
You dealt with some injuries throughout your career,
Mm-hmm.
hamstring injuries, some torn
Mm-hmm.
torn meniscus. You actually had some respiratory issues in Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
but still kept fighting to stay on the mound.
Mm-hmm.
What did that kind of teach you about, resiliency and identity beyond baseball?
Man, it was when you love something, sometimes it's not gonna come easy to you, but doesn't mean you need to give up. I just felt like if something clicked, I can become the pitcher I was before my knee injury. But like I say, with my pitch ability, I figure a way to stay on the mound, like you say, and still compete on a higher level. I played in Mexico a couple of years, Taiwan, and even helped my the Netherlands team in the WBC qualifying for the semifinal. Then you know, like I say, sometimes things happen in life to teach you something, and it teach me that I don't give up, and I'm never gonna quit, and that's how I live my life.
You mentioned, you kind of watched a little bit of the Braves growing up in Curacao.
Mhm.
How did tell me about growing up there and your approach to baseball and how all that kind of influenced you once you reached the major leagues.
You know, that the good thing, like I keep telling everybody, I always say, I was lucky enough to play for my little league program, represent my island since I was like 8, 10. Then that helped me mentally be ready for like for higher level competition. Because I say every time you put your country's name on your chest, it's a weight. It's not only you're not representing only yourself and your family, but you represent your own country. And I think playing in big tournaments since I was a little kid, sold out stadium, little league stadiums, single league stadiums, whatever you want to call it. I never had a pressure, and I love being that kind of situations, and I just elevate my level of play, and I wanted to match the energy of the fans and the energy of the environment I was in, and I think that really like helped me deal with the pressure playing the big leagues.
Talking about Curacao and
Mm.
we mentioned striking out Andrew Jones. Was there a little bit
Mm.
of did that add some extra kind of oomph foot to it? That y'all are both from same place.
You know, it is that day we made history. That's the first time two Curaçao baseball players face each other in the big leagues. Um, I know Andrew since I was 7. Him and my older brother playing the same team back in Curaçao. I was a bad boy for the team, and stepping up, I'll be on the same diamond with the guy who opened the door for all the rest of us from Curaçao, and be able to compete for like a future Hall of Famer, legend in this game, and be able to get the best of it is the thing I'm always gonna carry, and it's something I can have on his head for sure for the rest of my life.
That's awesome, man. That's
Mm.
awesome.
Yeah.
We mentioned Brian McCann, Bobby
Mm.
Cox. The Braves teams that you were a part of were
Mm.
pretty stacked teams. Chipper Jones. I
Hmm.
personally, I know it's probably super random, but when I
Mm.
was a kid, one of my favorite Braves players, Yunel Escobar.
Yeah,
Shout out
yeah,
Yunel.
and yeah, a good friend of mine, amazing guy. I think people really don't know Yunel a lot. My rub people the wrong way sometimes, but off the field is a guy that has your back, and on the field too, he plays with love. He played with pride of Cuba on his chest, and sometimes people don't have the chance to get to know somebody really good, but this is one of the talented shortstop I ever played with.
Well, the reason I brought him up was,
Mm.
who in the clubhouse kind of took you under their wing that
Ooh.
year and kind of showed you the ropes.
Oh,
Yeah.
my first year, I need to give a shout out to Tim Hudson. I'm definitely a guy that helped me out in spring training when I got traded over here, and Mike Gonzalez, and those two guys actually teach me a lot how to be a baseball player, how to be a professional, how to be ready every day for the job we need to do for the all those months, and how to be a man. This being in the spotlight can change you, can bring a lot of bad influence around you, and having veterans that actually care to teach how to act off and on the field was a blessing. Those two guys actually helped me a lot, and I need to thank them for everything I achieved in my life.
We mentioned, being a pitcher today and they're all
Mm.
analytical and trying
Hmm.
to get the first pitch strikes and everything. If you were coming
Yeah.
up today with,
Mhm.
like I said, all the analytics and the velocity and the control.
Yeah.
And what do you think that, you would focus on the most, and what do you think you would benefit from the most with how today's pitching is?
Definitely my IQ of pitching. I think like I answered that question before. These days they come with a game plan, right? And if the game plan doesn't work, they stick with the game plan because the numbers are saying you gotta stick with it. And sometimes that pitch, that percentage doesn't play. The things people don't understand that computer just gave you data and they don't adjust to what's happening on that moment. Then if you see something is happening, I think if you're in the big leagues and with the stuff these days in the big leagues, I think the analytics gotta teach the pitchers a little bit more how to see reactions, read swings a little more. And I think if they do that, we can see a little bit of rise of pitchers having better ERA all around, not only one guy on one staff having a good ERA. That's my point. And I think if I was in the game these days, I think for sure my IQ, how I can read hitters and how I can place my pitches will really work for me in this era.
Do you like the way that pitching has evolved and how it's kind of going with the modern? No.
No, no, because one is too many injuries. There's number one is creating less ruin a lot of talented arms career because they want you to go max effort every pitch and you can't do that. Two is I grew up you gotta throw 7 innings, or at least six. And these days I see guys throwing 5 innings and being happy like it just I think guys are too happy these days with being part of the program that everybody's trying to bring up in baseball. Like nobody wants to stand up, like play outside the box. And I think I took a lot of pride. I grew up, like I say, I was on the pitching staff with Tim Hudson. Every time we went out there, 7 plus. With 7 strikeout, we still strike out the same amount of guys, but we're going deep. Without need to go 100% all pitches. And these days, you see 70 pitches in 4 innings. And it's all max effort, and it's scary. And I hope they can come with a balance to teach his kids you don't need to go full blast all the pitching and still get people out. And I think players and pitchers still need to start be more proud of the job they do and try to go out there and actually help the team out, help the guy in the bullpen because like I always say, I saw it like this: the first half is my time to help the bullpen be fresh down the road. Then I'll use to work as much as possible during the first half to be every start I go at least give 6 or 7. At least 6 or 7. Then down the road, after you have 29 start, 30 starts, you go 1-5. The bullpen guys are rest enough to get the job done and help the team win.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, only pitching 4 or 5 innings, that's putting a lot of pressure on the bullpen.
Yeah, and you see it then when they go in the postseason, guys are still throwing the miles, but the life, the command is off, and it comes down to one pitch. We saw it this year. One hanging pitch because maybe even you feel good, but your muscle are tired. You just going through the grind and be in that spot. You don't feel tired, but actually your muscle are tired. But if you can save innings and get in the playoff as much rest as possible, I think it's gonna give you more success to win a trophy for sure.
Who were some guys that you really liked watching growing up? Were you always a pitcher, or did you play other sports? I mean,
No,
positions.
yeah, I was the infielder. I was an infielder. I just somehow the guy who signed Mariano Rivera came to watch me. He was working with the Padres, and he came and watched as a shortstop. But I asked to pitch that day, and as at that time, turning 89 at 16 was a big deal, right? And Finish up throwing a complete game, and I got 2 hits. But it seemed like I think it doesn't matter. And the guy walked over, called my dad over, and told my dad, forget playing infield, be a pitcher. And that's how I started like becoming a pitcher in my era, in my area in Curaçao. Every time I went to play a tournament, they came to watch me, but they wasn't interested in me playing shortstop or third base anymore. And that's how I become a pitcher.
Rivera, man, one of the greats, one of the
Yeah,
greats.
and yeah.
When people look back on, you and your career, how do you want them to remember you?
Um, a guy that every time he step on the mound, put everything out there for the team. I learned something in my first, like my little set with Detroit. I remember I had a bad outing. My last outing with Detroit was really bad, and the pitching coach came up to me and said, like, listen, um, as a star pitcher, your job is not to win the game, is to give the team a chance to win. And if you get in the jam or give up some runs, try to limit the runs, keep the team in the game. Then my goal always after that day, my goal always is go out there, give a good performance, help my team win, and give the team a chance. I remember one day I think I give up one run and came out losing, and we came back to win or we lost, something like that. And another mentor of mine, Javier Vasquez, walk in to come check to say good job and see how I'm doing. And he said, "Why you mad?" I say, like, "Man, I want to win." And he said, "But he said, like, did you pitch good?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Then why you mad?" I said, "We not, I'm losing, right?" Then the next star, I give up four, but I won. And he came out, "You happy today?" I say, "No." I say, like, "That's what I'm telling you. Our job is not to win, it's to give the team a chance to win. And if you do your job, you got to be happy with that."
Man, I wish that people still thought that way with NIL and
Yeah,
everything. It's
I
kind of
know,
changed
man.
now.
I know, man. I know, man. It's like making these college kids think they're bigger than the game sometimes. I know. I know.
Yeah, I miss the
I
good
know.
old days.
I know.
But man, I really appreciate it. I want to end this conversation on a fun
Mm,
question. Uh,
hmm.
everybody knows Jair Jurrjens is the baseball player, but
Yeah.
who are you away from the field? What are some things that you like doing?
I love to watch soccer. I'm a big soccer fan. I love now being at home, being retired, have a chance to catch up with my soccer games. I'm a big video game guy. I'm really like laid back, like to chill, watch movies. Like I'm not big into adventure stuff. I just like to be laid back.
Have you gotten around to go to any Atlanta United games?
Not yet, not yet, not
They're
yet.
fun, man. They're fun.
Yeah, not yet, not yet. I heard the vibe, the energy is really great. They're one of the best stadium in United States for soccer. Now I'm excited. I'm excited. The World Cup is coming. We hosting here in Georgia. There's a chance Curaçao and Netherlands gonna be in it. Then I'm hoping one of them come here, and I can definitely go root for them.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you'll have to go check out a game. It's like a college football atmosphere. You got
Yeah,
people
that's
chanting and with the drum and everything. It's
Yeah, I
awesome.
know, I know. I saw some friends of mine who went, and I saw them post on the Instagram. It's pretty legit, pretty legit.
Yeah, man. It's cool. Well, Jair, man, I really appreciate it.
Thank
This has
you, I
been really
appreciate it.
fun. Thank you, man.
Thank you, thank you.